Anyway, hello everyone. We're here to play some Vampire the Masquerade. I'm gonna let everybody kind of introduce themselves. Whoever wants to go first, if you would tell us who you are, where we can find you, if anywhere, and who you're playing.
I guess I'll go first. So, hello, I am Lissa of the Slovenly Trolls podcast. You may find me as being the best host of the Slovenly Trolls podcast with my co-host, Sade. Take down the patriarchy of D&D is the goal. But currently, I am, everything social media is at Slovenly Trolls, if you know how to spell that, which is, it's very difficult. Yeah, I am playing Rain, she, her. She is a kind of a street urchin turned forest urchin nomad kind of girl who wears very torn kind of street clothing with fresh bruises and a pierced neck, sort of black mid-length hair, a couple of crumpled $1 notes in her jacket, but really living off the land most of the time. And she's carrying a lighter with our goal of being free.
And while we're talking about Rain, how did Rain end up in the UK from the US?
Well, you know, that is a very good question that I did think about.
I believe that.
Having started on the U.S. soil, where she began her journey. So she would have been promised a life of freedom in the UK by, we'll say, some faction or other, maybe the Anarchs. So she had a dalliance with the Anarchs. And then they said, you know, you should go to Manchester. You know, there's like all these woods and all of this like non foresty, well, this foresty like stuff over in Manchester, and like it's like the city of anarchy, up and coming city of anarchy, and there's less people than in the U.S. Like, oh my god.
And yeah,
So she was like, okay, as long as you sponsor me, like, send me there. So they sponsored her, because she, like I said, she only has $1 notes, so I can't see her purchasing a plane ticket in her life. And she made the trek to the city of Manchester.
I love the idea of her being sponsored and having like, you know, her torn jacket, but having Anarchs on the back like it's a NASCAR thing.
Yeah, and then she landed there and very quickly realized that when you get sponsored by someone, you actually have strings attached and you have to do stuff for them. So she said no thanks and basically fled the Anarchs and is now being hunted by the Anarchs and also probably the Camarilla and everyone else who's like, oh, there's a rogue raid walking around in the streets of Manchester with a worth of something other than $1 notes in her pockets. But yeah, here we are. And now we're down to do more shenanigans.
Absolutely. I'm sure this will not go off the rails at all.
No, 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 no. Rain is a good girl. Listen.
So good.
So good.
All right, who's next?
Okay.
Don't all go at once.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Alana. I'm from Even Footing Games as one of their artists. As well, I make dice as Spectralcraft Dice. You can find me on Instagram at Spectralcraft Dice, and pretty much any other social platform is the same. I'll be playing my sheet to shut down just a sec. I'll be playing Elos Templeton, and they are an arcade scavenger, and they're kind of like a suave middle-aged person, kind of wears fine attire, and they have red hair that's kind of in a-line curly bob. And their history, I guess, is they were acquisitions for Oxford University,
Oh.
And their grandfather taught philosophy, and their grandfather was like long dead as far as they knew, and they kind of waltzed into their life and offered to turn them into a vampire, and so they accepted and became part of the Nodist archaeology by Clan Tremere. So
Oh.
that's the story behind Ilos.
Yeah, I totally missed in your background that you were a Nodist, which
Yeah.
is interesting that we're dealing with the Church of Cain, because
Yeah.
Nodists are a
Just
little
read that.
bit not quite the same as the Church of Cain. We'll get to that, but they're not part of the church.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
So
they're a little distanced from it and more interested in the knowledge rather
less
than
zealoty,
the yeah.
you know, like you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So that's a character.
Fantastic. Alrighty, who's next?
I'll go next. Hi,
I was gonna say
I'm.
you can't nose goes whenever you can.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know goes the second one.
That's true. That's true.
Hi, I'm Rai. Any pronouns? I go by Rock and Rai on most of the socials. Sometimes with underscore, sometimes with not, because everywhere's freaking different. Some people are already taking it. On the Vactair, and also here, even voting games as well. Yeah, I will be playing Lictor tonight, who is a they, and is a Nosferatu, sire to the Clog. And Lictor has blotched skin, the piercing eyes of a hunter, jagged teeth protruding from their maw in all directions, which I find slightly offensive because that plays on the British stereotype of big teeth.
Yeah,
But
I also don't like a lot of things about the Nosferatu, but that's okay.
Yeah. As for his history, he was born kind of after one of the wars, and they were kind of limited to gig work in the late 40s, early 50s. But upon making a delivery to his local sewage treatment plant in Camden, in London, in '68, he got ghouled by the Clog, and then after serving him for years, was actually finally properly embraced and turned into the Kindred Lictor. Lictor, not very good socially to begin with. Tried to play those political games, but they didn't do very well until they realized that blackmail was their specialty, and then started blackmailing other kindred to gain information and power over them. And yeah, after the Second Inquisition, fled up north. So you've got a Cockney speaking kindred in Manchester, which is going to be absolutely hilarious.
And that's what we're here for. Vampire the Masquerade is known for the laughs. But it's okay. I mean, if you've watched our previous games, I'm here for it. So. All right, Cam, you want to round us out?
Sure. I'm Cam, they, them. No socials. I'm playing Blake, also they, them. Blake was history was a reporter. Has been following stories to do with the Black Rose Gallery, and I think has somehow followed that story here. Some other stories brought them to Manchester. Just tends to be very fashionable, but practical fashionable. Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it. All right. So, when last we saw one of our kindred, at least, I'm going to retroactively say that you were in Kansas City, by the way, Rain, because I realized that the background that I was using was actually from Kansas City. So, Rain's from Missouri. Little did you know.
Wow.
Yeah. And now you're in the UK. Somehow through all kinds of shenanigans from the sounds of it. So we find our coterie as they are driving through the water-slick streets of Manchester. Sodium yellow lamps dimly illuminate the rundown red brick warehouses that once were the beating hearts of industry in the city. Council housing estates are stalked by local gangs, their numbers drawn from the poor and disenfranchised, driven to crime by circumstance and vilification. Our coterie is in a van fitted for protection from the sunlight and winds its way through the city looking for a place to park up securely where they might interrogate their prisoners, as they have 2 prisoners. When they initially arrived in the city, they were being harassed incessantly by the Church of Cain, specifically the Confessors, a group of zealots who are led by Father Vaughn, Toreador, who is very open about practicing the old ways of the Church of Cain. But you have currently Luke Kincaid and Simon Kincaid. Luke is a kindred, like all of you, and is, somewhere in the ranks of the church. Obviously not at the top, but not important. Simon is his human grandson. So, where would you all like to go? Do you have anywhere in mind that you would go to interrogate your prisoners?
Do we have any kind of a safe house?
Well, about that, part of why you have Luke and Simon currently kidnapped is that Luke actually firebombed your haven. He attacked it because you all had turned down frequently the confessors in their attempts to convert you to the Church of Cain. So you don't have a safe house currently. But you know that there are a lot of abandoned buildings, as the city has really seen better days. When you all have arrived here, it is not long after the fall of London, which was a large attack by the Second Inquisition. Very coordinated. I wouldn't say that it caused all kindred to, be exterminated in the city, but obviously people like yourselves fled, and they did their best to destroy any kindred they could. You know that you are almost assuredly being followed here by the Inquisition as well, so all kinds of good times to be had.
Well, Raid is going to suggest in the van, as we are probably driving, I presume, that we should definitely get out of the city and go to where there's no people anywhere. They won't be able to find us. They won't be able to find me. And there's not going to be the stink of the city and the city pollution. And there's going to be no people. Did I mention the no people? No people.
That's actually a great idea. I think we should do this.
It's going to take a bleeding long time to get out of Greater Manchester, though.
Oh, I'm new here. I don't really know this place, but it'll be worth it.
Somewhat familiar, but I'd rather not be here. I have some connections I'd rather not meet.
The voice in the sky says that Manchester proper has approximately 500,000 population, so it's a decently large city.
That's 500,000 too much for Rain.
I mean, if we can't get out of the city, is there like a warehouse district we can go to?
Maybe not a district per se, but there are plenty of abandoned warehouses in the vicinity.
How about that, then?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I think that's a smart idea. Yeah.
All right. We all agree, so we do it, in the words of Cedar. So you all make your way to an abandoned warehouse. It's not hard to get in. Obviously, some other people have been using this place to squat recently, but it is currently unoccupied. And you all know that as Luke is a kindred like yourselves, it does not kill him to stake him through the heart, but he is currently in the back of the van with a stake through his heart. His clean jumper and blazer are now covered in his vitae, which is essentially just blood. It's just the word that kindred use because it's fancy and because it, you all have special powers because of what you are. So he is currently in what's called torpor, and he looks a little bit desiccated compared to his normal self. He is currently not moving. What are you all doing?
Rain's gonna be sniffing Luke
Okay.
just
Looking
to
for what?
see what this because I don't know if she's ever seen a staked vampire before, and also
fair.
one from the kind of confessor. So she's investigating.
Okay. What are you looking for in particular?
Well, his pockets. Through his pockets, if he has any sort of ID on him, loose change maybe, anything to sort of figure out anything personal about this person without
Sure.
asking about it, and also just looking at the state of a vampire being staked.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a wits and awareness roll?
Okay. Wits. So remind me how I do this.
Are you in the dice roller?
Yes.
So what is your wits? How many dots do you have in that?
3.
Okay. And what about awareness?
Awareness is 1.
Okay. So you would put the dice pool as 4, and because you all have 2 hunger, your hunger would be 2.
Okay.
And then you just roll, and it will replace 2 of them with hunger dice. And then just let me know the results.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay.
Would you like me to describe the 2?
Are they different in any way?
One's a red with a simple one, and one's a black with 2 stars on it.
Gotcha. Okay, so the red is the hunger.
Mhm.
And then you didn't have any failures?
No, it just
Okay.
says 2 successes. Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, so realistically, in order to get a critical, you have to have 2 of the fancy ones. So
Okay.
yeah. So with 2 successes, he doesn't have a whole lot on him, but you, like you said, have never seen someone who has been staked like this. Kindred don't have a heartbeat. They don't give off body heat, which is, one of the ways that the Second Inquisition tracks you all, is they can see that everyone else has this heat signature, and weirdly, there's somebody walking around who doesn't, But even though you are not technically alive, you still would be moving somewhat. You're not totally still even when you're asleep. This is kind of off-putting, very uncomfortable, because he's not moving. There's no anything, no involuntary movements. The vitae is slowly leaking out of him, and it looks like the life force has drained out of him.
What does he smell like?
Probably smells pretty nice, I would imagine. I guess depending on your definition of nice. Likely incense. Very clean smell as well.
Rain's gonna take a sniff, go through his pockets, and then just look up, shudder, and be like, "Smells like civilization."
Have I mentioned lately that I love rain? What's everyone else doing?
Should we move them into the warehouse or?
I imagine that you all probably drove into the warehouse, so you're not having to like carry a staked body and someone who I would guess you've probably, at a minimum, like tied up Simon in some way. You know, probably just his hands, so he can't do anything with them. I don't want to assume, but I can't imagine you would have, you know, like hog-tied him and just had him in the back of the van.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rain does what Rain wants to do, so.
Would it make sense to kind of check outside, see if we were followed or if there's anyone, if we can see anyone watching us?
Yeah.
Before we.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Blake, I will have you make the same roll, wits and awareness.
Okay. So that's 6 dice. Okay, 2 successes.
Perfect.
1 red.
Okay.
Not.
It doesn't seem like anyone really cares. The people you do see outside, it seems like they probably have just been kind of loitering in this area, and they don't really seem interested in what you're doing.
Okay, good. Just to let everyone know everything looks clear outside. So.
Good, but there are people around, aren't there? So we probably don't want to be talking to this bastard too freaking loudly, otherwise we're going to draw attention.
Yeah, let's get away from people.
Yeah, we should get away from the people for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure, look, if there's a door there or something, we should freaking close it. Muffle the sounds. Shut the fucking mortals out.
I imagine
Maybe
there's
just-
like a garage door, you know, the kind that like lifts up and
Mhm.
you know, you
Maybe
all
drive further in so we're more centrally in the warehouse.
Absolutely.
We can
And,
leave them in the car.
And I'll let you all tell me how you may have restrained potentially both of these people, if you have restrained both of them.
Hmm.
We should restrain them.
I mean, they are
Yeah,
restrained.
yeah.
We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, they're restrained.
I didn't want to assume.
Maybe a gag around. Sorry,
Simon?
Simon. Yeah, around Simon, just so he can't scream.
That makes
Are
sense.
we talking ropes or handcuffs or?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, would Rain have handcuffs? You've had
Probably.
some time. You've had some time since Kansas City.
You don't know why or where she got them, but yeah, she
Yeah.
should come up with at least one set of handcuffs.
You might not want to know why.
Yeah. Also
Or you
that.
might. I don't know.
Yeah, so at least one of them's in handcuffs. We'll just say both of them are in handcuffs.
Just in case.
Just in case.
So would they have their hands like bound in front of them, behind them?
Probably behind.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
assume.
Sure.
Just make it
That makes sense.
harder.
So are you taking Luke out of the back of the van, or are you going to pull him out of torpor while he's still in the van?
I would say keep him non-moving until
Yeah.
we
Until
have
we've
him. Yeah.
setting him up properly.
Yeah.
Sure. So where would you like to take him to question him? We'll say that there are, you know, it's a warehouse, so there's some office space. There's a lot of like open area as well, some shelves and miscellaneous detritus.
Maybe have the interrogation happen in like an office space, or Rain's going to suggest that they do the interrogating in an office space, and then we have like maybe one one person to have be a lookout, just in case somebody comes over. And I don't like people, so I'm not going to be talking to any one of these people. But if somebody's really good at interrogating, kind of gestures.
We know that Rain is great at talking to people.
Mhm.
I don't mind doing some of the talking. Just
I was gonna say I'm gonna laugh so hard if all of you picked like socially awkward kindred who can't.
I
interrogate.
mean, I'm
No.
pretty persuasive most of the time, but I'm not particularly intimidating to be sure. So if we're doing a good copper, bad copper kind of routine, then I'm probably gonna have to be the good copper.
Fair enough.
And I'm a pretty good with charisma, so
yeah, I've pretty good charisma also.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So sounds like Rain is going to be doing what Rain wants to do, and maybe everybody else is doing the interrogating.
sounds like it.
All right.
Sure. I
Um,
will try to be lookout.
perfect. Yeah, we'll say that there's a nice rolly chair that you can set Luke up on. And where would you have Simon? Would you have him in the office with you or somewhere else? We'll say that there are pretty large windows where, if you're in the office, he would be able to see out if you did have Simon like somewhere else.
Have him on another chair in front of him, like they're looking at each other, so he can see so that they can see each other and where they are, because Simon might come in handy
Makes sense.
for leverage, shall we say?
Yeah. That's what I've heard. All right. Who is going to pull the plug, so to speak?
I can, I guess.
Okay. So as you pull the stake out, there is a sucking sound as his body begins to slowly heal back up. The vitae begins flowing again as it would normally. And there is a light that suddenly comes into his eyes as he begins to rouse. Who is taking point on this? Who's going to go first?
Wakey, wakey, sunshine, eggs and bakey.
Where am I?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's why I asked.
Maybe we'll tell you a bit later. But for now, just to let you know, we've got you and your darling grandson here with you.
For what purpose? Why am I here?
Well, you've been a naughty old boy, ain't ya? Been firebombing our places of residence. And strangely enough, we're kind of fucking pissed off. Why am I muting myself? I wasn't going to cough. And when he raises his voice, Lictor kind of gets in his face and shouts. So all those jagged teeth are right in Luke's face.
Okay. Why don't you give me either charisma or manipulation? And I'm assuming you're going for intimidation here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, as you can see, Donna has joined me and she's distracting me.
She's very helpful.
Yes. Okay. Donna. Okay. That is a messy crit.
Ooh. Okay.
5 success. So it's got one of my hunger die has the crit symbol on it.
Mhm.
One of my regular die has the crit symbol on it. So according to what I read in the reference guide, that's a messy crit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I got 5 successes total on that out of 4 die.
That's 5 out of 4?
Yeah, because I got 3.
Yeah, because
I got
because it
the
doubles.
double.
Yeah. I remember how this works because it's been so many days since I played. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you tell me how you make this a little bit messy?
Well, Lictor is revolting. That's one of his flaws. So his breath smells, obviously the teeth. His skin is all nasty, pale and blotchy, and being up close and personal to such a refined, gentle kindred is probably giving him the fear. But yeah, basically having this revolting ass Nosferatu right in his face, yelling at him, and having that kind of smell of cigarettes and what would he drink? Gin. I say gin, I guess.
I mean,
yeah, it's
given
probably not fun.
Given that kindred can't consume human food and drink, you could certainly try. You probably feed on a lot of people who drink gin.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially after they're passed out from too much alcohol consumption. Because Sandman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, you could also bathe in it.
I ain't that rich.
Just saying. Just saying.
It's probably watered down. It's fine.
Yeah. It's like brand, supermarket brand stuff that's on the bottom shelf. Bottom shelf gin.
Whatever the gin equivalent of aristocrat vodka is. So awful.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not a gin fan, so yeah. So I think part of the messy critical is that it is excessive in force. So I would imagine maybe you would shove him because he's on a wheelie chair. Slam him against. We'll say that there's a filing cabinet that you knock over, and knock over the chair with it. And he doesn't seem horribly intimidated, though. He seems to be keeping his wits about him for the most part. But he says, "What do you want to know? What can I do so that you'll let Simon go?"
And at this point, Lictor will kind of glance at the others who are helping with the interrogation to take a turn because they might want to take a different tactic.
And don't worry too much about looking at abilities per se. If you have something you want to do, just let me know and I will give you some options for what might make sense.
Okay. I'll just straight up ask why he did it. Why did you burn down our home?
I mean, if you can call it a home. It's really just more of a rat's nest. And, well, if you won't join us, there's really only one option.
So we're vermin to you then.
More that you're making the wrong choices, and if you won't see reason, then we will exterminate you like rats.
I'm not really seeing a reason to keep him alive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Rain can probably hear all of this. Like, she's close enough that, and they're not being super quiet either, that you could definitely hear all of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of us like to live off the grid. You know, not everyone's a bougie asshole who lives in a palace with like empty space for your vases and I don't know what you have, marble statues of yourself or something.
Amazing.
Listen, you took something from us. All I know is we can take something from you.
It is
There's
only
logic
fair.
there. So what have you got for us that would make it worth our while to let you go? Or your brother, father, son, grandson? Who's that?
Grandson, yes.
Oh
Mm,
yes, grandson.
I can tell you some of the other confessors.
It's not a bad place to start.
Something though. Yeah, something's a bit funny here. And Lictor will kind of stand somewhat menacingly behind Simon and lean down a little bit, kind of hands gripping the back of the chair. You seem awfully attached to this one, and you know, we ain't humans anymore, right? We cut off our ties to that world, but you're still attached to your grandson here. Did he even know that you're a freaking kindred? Huh?
Of course he knows.
Oh. But he ain't a ghoul, right?
No, I would never. I'm not a monster. And not all of us forgo all of our humanity. The church believes in not succumbing to the unhinged nature of the beast, but embracing who we are and foregoing much of our humanity, but we all have some ties.
But I find it a bit weird that he was with you at the time of being picked up. So where were you going? That was so important that you had to drag your grandson along for it.
Obviously, he's a member of the church as well. We allow humans, they're not excluded.
That didn't quite answer my question, though. Where were you going?
It's not important. And Lictor, I'll have you roll me another manipulation and intimidation, please.
Again. That got one success.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So, because he's trying to resist you, he got a messy crit and a bestial failure. So, yeah, he is very, very upset about the fact that you are clearly making some threats, mostly implied, towards his family, and he starts to kind of puff up, and you can hear as the handcuffs snap, and he lunges for you, Lictor.
At that point, I guess I'm gonna kind of, especially because he's coming for me, I'm gonna try and grapple him and, try to keep him focused on me for a bit so the others can deal with him.
Him or Simon is right in front of you.
Oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that one thing that could really that will really piss him off?
I mean, it will piss him off.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Ooh.
I mean, he's definitely not pissed off right now.
Yeah, I mean, super piss off, but it also might make him stop in his tracks.
It's true.
I'm going to put my teeth to his neck. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to
Okay.
start, but I am going to threaten to embrace him. I'm going to say, another step from you, and this one will be serving me. No
Threaten
more
to embrace?
church.
Well, to embrace or to give him the kiss? Because there is a difference. The kiss is just feeding. The embrace would be turning him.
Oh, I'm threatening to embrace.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
threatening. Literally, the threat is one more step, and I'm going to start turning this one, and it'll serve me, and not your fucking church. Me. So back the fuck off, or he's mine.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like he's almost on you whenever you do this. He just raises his sharp clawed hand as if to potentially try to like tear your throat out. And as you put your teeth to Simon's neck, he pauses. Says, "What do I have to do?"
One of you can step in here because I'm a little busy keeping this.
Rain's gonna come in, seeing that this is getting out of hand. Properly come into the room, close the door, and stand there and say, "What do you know about us? How much information do you have about us?"
Well, I know that you're independent, I guess you could say, for whatever reason, and obviously we're not a big fan of that. We would like you to join us.
But what if we don't want to join you?
Well, as I said, join us or be exterminated.
It's not the most persuasive argument.
Yeah, especially seeing as we have your grandson there,
Yeah.
who smells really fucking good right now.
He says, even if you send me to the final death, even if you turn Simon, the church will not stop. They will carry on the work.
So what would make them stop?
It's a good question.
So
Nothing.
all we want to do is live our peaceful little lives away from, and I like remembers that there's other people. All I want to do is live my peaceful little life away from other people and
Peaceful.
kindred. Peaceful, yeah, I said peaceful.
I just put the quotation marks there.
But you're kind of making that real hard to do.
Well, as I've said, either join us or else. The only thing that would stop the church would be if you were to eliminate all of us, and that won't happen. There are too many of us worldwide.
Kind of gruffs, scratches her messy, very messy, kind of raven stick stuff hair, grumbles something of like stupid civilization people, stupid. Well, this is why I hate people and kindred and other beings, and kind of goes back towards like the door to just block off the door so that nobody can leave.
You still haven't answered our question. Where were you heading?
As I said, to the church.
Where is that?
Well, we use the Holy Trinity as our primary location.
Is that a place?
Yes, it's a church here in the city.
I mean, there's no real reason why we should be keeping them alive, I suppose, unless they can give us something, which they seem reluctant to do.
I told you already I would give you the names of the other confessors.
I was about to say that you had brought that up, so why don't we start there?
Of course, there's David Leggett of Clan Ventru, Quinn Snowden, Clan Bruja, and Julia Flanders of Clan Toreador. They're the other confessors.
And were you having some kind of hoity-toity meeting of all your confessor selves, or were you just having a good get-together to have a bit of snack and, have a chat?
I don't see where it matters. That we have all kinds of functions that we attend to as members of the church.
You're not answering my question, which means
Considering the
you're hiding
situation,
something.
in considering the situation, maybe it's for us to decide what's important and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bore you with the minutia of the daily
We'll
church.
let you know if you're boring us.
We've been sending envoys to the northern cities, establishing a seat of power here where the Camarilla has been slowly withdrawing.
So what, you've been pushing towards the true north, is that it? Up towards the Scots?
Well, of course. Especially after the Inquisition and London and all of that.
So you're taking over Camarilla space, is what I'm hearing.
Well, they leave and we step in. They're more concerned with the continent than here.
And Lictor kind of stands up straight for a second and looks at the other three. I think, and hear me out, there's a good reason to keep these two alive just a little bit longer. See,
Rain looks at you confused.
hear me out. If we're gonna get into this church, right, we're gonna need, how can I put it? We're gonna need people to vouch for us. Can't just go wandering into a freaking church of these fucking confessors and not expect to suddenly be freaking staked and burnt ourselves.
The Church of Cain would never do that. As I've said, we want you to join.
But if we don't,
But see, the problem is we've refused enough times now that you got pissed off with us and firebombed us. So we're on your hit list. If us on the hit list just go walking in, I'd be less walking into a nest of vipers. But if we have an in, you see what I'm saying?
I think you misunderstand. We're not here to send you to the true death if you were willing to join. If you showed that you were of the faith, if you were interested in joining our cause, then they would embrace you as one of their own.
And what, pray tell, would that involve? Is there a trial, an initiation, something special we have to do to prove ourselves?
You just have to be of the faith. Devote yourself to the word of Cain.
So what do you actually do? Stand in a circle, say kumbaya?
No, we're preparing for his return.
Preparing how?
Well, we have to establish our base of power and bring in more people to serve our cause. As when Cain returns, that is one of the signs that ushers in Gehenna, the end of days. And we want to be on the winning side.
Forgive me, but that sounds kind of contradictory. The end of days is supposed to wipe out everyone. How would someone be on the winning side of an Armageddon?
I wouldn't say everyone. There's a winner, even in an apocalypse. Apocalypse is just a word for change.
And at that point, Elector will kind of look at the other three again, hoping they've kind of cottoned on to his logic by now.
You could probably explain out of character if
Out of character, he's suggesting that we go in as we profess our desire to join the church, but then we raise hell when we get in there and take out these confessors, one way or another.
Grasping onto that,
Yeah.
finally, Rain will go, oh, and then kind of mull it over.
I suppose it
And
wouldn't
then-
hurt to keep them around a bit to make introductions, like you're saying.
I think all of you can pretty well assume, even under threat, that number one, clearly Luke has been staked. That's going to be hard to cover up. You know, the hole in his clothes and the vitae that has leaked all over is going to be pretty sus if you just walk in and he's like, oh yeah, these guys are great, I love them, they're with the church now. That's it's a big red flag right there.
That's another thing that, like, that Rain will point out is what'll make him want to do our bidding after we let go of all of this? Because right now we have the power. Once we go in, he could just tell them to kill us on sight.
Convince him that we're actually wanting to join.
That might be more persuasive if he wasn't right in front of us right now,
Rain kind
hearing
of
us
nods.
discuss it.
I mean, well, no, he's not bound anymore, so yeah, probably can't do a whole lot of talking outside of this. So I think especially Rain, because you know, you all may have been kindred for a little bit, but I think Rain may be slightly more established, potentially, would know that most kindred, aside from Toreadors, can do what's called a blood bond, where you would essentially enthrall him to you by him consuming vitae from one of you.
And then Rain will nod and say, well, I mean, there's always something that they rambled at me back in, where was I from? Missouri?
From Kansas City, yeah.
Kansas, back in Kansas.
Well, it's Missouri. Most of
Missouri?
Kansas City is in Missouri, which is very confusing, I realize, because Kansas is also a state.
I know all the things about all the America things.
It's okay. I live in Missouri. I can tell you that. Don't come here.
And mention the whole blood bond thing. That we could blood bind him to one of us.
Learned that back in vampire school.
Yeah, I just learned it. Never got to try it out.
That's
Well,
something I'm not allowed to do.
You're not able to do. Not even that you're not allowed, you're not able to.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
I'm
am
able
not
to
able to.
either.
Is Blake also a Toreador?
Yep.
Nice. Good thing we've got a Gangrel and a Nosferatu who can blood bond.
Anarchy, yay.
No, it'll have to be one of.
well,
Yes, yeah.
Rain, seeing as you're so fascinated by the process, by all means, you can be the one to bond with them, and I'll keep an eye on the wee nipper here just to make sure he don't get any ideas while you're doing it. And our
So-
Toreador friends, maybe you'll want to look away.
So how are you going to feed him your vitae? Because he's not going to be consenting, I can tell you that.
I do have a bit of strength, so
I'm very little.
Actually,
I
that's a
have
good
I have 3 points of strength and dex, so and pretty good at brawling.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wrestle him.
Yeah.
Love it. Ooh, okay. What'd you get?
Let's see. That would be 3 plus. So what check would that be?
I would say either strength or dex and brawl.
Okay. And hunger 2. Possible bestial failure.
Oh, that's good because he
Ooh.
got the same thing. Oh man. Okay. Did you have any successes?
Yes. 2.
I shit you not. He got the exact same result. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Yeah. The bestial failure is interesting. 1 second. Because yeah, we'll have to resolve that. And I totally remember how to do that. So being at 2 hunger, I'm just gonna, because it's not in the reference guide where I can easily find it, I'm gonna say that Rain, you're gonna gain a hunger, because he is already at 5 hunger. He is going to fully enrage and go full beast. He begins to shift in appearance and
Cool.
does not have any kind of resemblance to a human anymore. And yeah, he's going to definitely be trying to now kill whoever is closest, which is currently Rain.
hmm
But you both got the exact same result. So he doesn't do anything this time, but he's very, very upset. And I think all of you would know that when the beast takes over, it is possible to come back from, but it is very, very difficult, and blood binding might be out of the question now.
So I guess Rain will wrestle with him, and they will come at an impasse because, well, didn't bet him, didn't beat him. So
Yeah. I will say, as you all came into this warehouse, that there were some gas cans that you saw, and Rain does have a lighter.
that is a fair point.
And Kindred are very, very vulnerable to fire.
Would I know? Because I'm apparently intimidating. I'm now reading.
Apparently.
Apparently. If I do something called the Eyes of the Beast, I can apparently be more intimidating.
You can, but
That
because
would
the
that
beast
would
is-
not work on.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beast has taken over. It would probably be extremely unlikely.
Okay. Rain's just gonna say fuck this. Walk out. Grab the gas canister. And start hauling that back in.
Okay. Yeah. Is anyone else doing anything?
I think I would probably help with that if I can,
Mhm.
With which part?
like the grabbing the canister.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
makes it faster.
Because Rain was attempting to grapple, that would probably be where she's best suited to stay, so that he doesn't, go after anyone else.
Okay, yeah, that
Um,
makes perfect sense. Yeah. Rain will like let you know that, oh, there's gas canisters outside because this has gone very terribly wrong and we should blow this up. And when I say blow this up, I mean like
Hylos nods and goes, "Yeah, I'll go grab it," and just gets the canister.
Yeah. Rain, if you are attempting to keep him grappled, we'll do opposed. This time it's going to be strength and athletics.
yes, okay. Two successes.
It is ridiculous how much he has rolled the exact same as you. But I will say that because you are kind of the one taking the lead here, you are able to keep him grappled. He is fighting back significantly. He's attempting to claw at you, but you heal pretty quickly, so it doesn't do any lasting damage. And it's pretty hard to tell. Your clothes are already pretty well worn, so most people wouldn't even know there was anything different. But yeah, Aeolus is able to douse him and a little bit you as well in gasoline. But Rain, if you're going to use your lighter and toss it at him, I will just have you give me, let's see, Dex and I'm gonna say athletics again.
Okay.
Just to make sure that you don't, because you are going to get doused a little bit.
Mhm.
Make sure you don't light yourself on fire as well.
That is 4 successes, baby. It's like I've
Fantastic.
burnt things before.
I am both shocked and awed. Yeah, as he is currently soaked in gasoline, pulling the lighter out of your pocket, you are able to set him ablaze rather easily without any damage to yourself. And he obviously screams in pain as he burns to the final death.
Is there like a jackbox or jukebox we could play some music to cover up his screams or something? Because I know we're like a warehouse in the middle of nowhere, but I feel like a scream is a scream is a scream.
I think in a part of town like this, people kind of keep to themselves and mind their own business.
Mhm.
Especially whenever like a blacked out van runs into a warehouse and somebody starts screaming. You know,
Not suspicious at all.
Mm, mhm.
you don't ask too many questions about
Another
stuff like that.
Tuesday.
Yeah. What are you doing with Simon?
I think we should grab him and get away from the fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, because his smoldering corpse is starting to catch other things on fire.
Yeah, we should go.
Bollocks.
Rain just kind of stands there looking at the flames, like,
Grab
Well,
Rain and also
Gently
Hey, take him down the freaking apples and pears and get back in the van.
Yep.
Lictor's gonna just real quickly check, is there anything on this smoldering corpse that would be like an icon of power or status or anything like that?
Everything is entirely burnt. You would not be able to inspect the corpse without risking getting burnt yourself.
I mean, Rain did kind of
Yeah.
check for IDs and stuff.
Yeah.
So did he have anything on him?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, Rain, as somebody's pulling her away, she'll, if you make a mention to like check for the corpse, Rain will be like, "Yeah, no, I sniffed him out real good. He didn't have anything on him."
Well, shite. Okay, let's get out of here before we fucking meet our final ends.
I love the idea that Rain didn't even like pat his pockets. She just smelled and was like, nah.
Doesn't have that plasticky smell in his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the smell of civilization. You know,
Exactly.
why would you want to touch it when you could just sniff it?
Phrasing, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
I mean, I'm not here to kink shame, so where is our coterie headed to at this point?
Away from
away from the
body
fire.
of Pride.
Away from the
body
burning
of Pride.
building
Yeah.
before the Manchester fire service arrives.
Yeah. And, you know, Manchester PD and all that kind of
Yeah.
bullshit. And I mean, all of you would probably know there is what's called the Roach Shrek, the Red Fear in Kindred, that if fire is brandished in certain ways, and, you know, like an uncontrolled blaze could trigger Roach Shrek, it can do a lot of things to you, mostly making you act pretty erratically in ways to get away from it, and probably a good thing to get away before it gets too out of control.
Mhm.
But I will remind you, Luke did mention the Holy Trinity Church, and we'll say that he gave you a rough description of like where in Manchester it is, enough that you'd be able to find it pretty easily.
Okay. Well, in the mystery machine, as we are driving away, Rain will just turn to the others and say, "Well, what do we do about this one? Do we take him to the church? Do we use him to get inside? Are we?" I'm not the ones with the brains here.
And you just hear like muffled panic from Simon.
We have options regarding him, don't we? Can we bond him, or does I'm trying to remember if that.
You could make him a ghoul.
Yeah, I was going to say that would make him a ghoul, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, doing the same thing. You know, essentially a blood bond for kindred to a human would make him into a ghoul. He would still have, you know, a decent amount of like independence, but you would have a higher degree of power over him, and then he would be dependent on you for vitae.
Well, Rain, would you like a nice young strapping lad to be your ghoul then?
Rain's gonna kind of look at the person and be like, "Yeah, it's kindred's one thing with a blood bond, but I'm kind of not. I don't like people." Kind of looks at the kid.
You would know, though, that ghouls are frequently a food source for kindred. That once you know kind of enthralled, so to speak, that is then someone you can feed on consistently.
And then she'll like trail off and say, "But on the other hand, I am very hungry."
And
I'm
on that
always
note, I'm
hungry.
going to have all of you give me a single rouse check, which is just 1 die, no hunger, and that is to determine if you become more hungry or not.
1 success.
No successes.
Oof.
Ooh, 1 success.
Okay.
1 success.
Okay. Most of you don't get any hungrier. Lictor, you do. You gain a point of hunger. So Rain and Lictor are now at 3. So you're not at risk currently of going full beast and losing your humanity, but you're definitely getting a little close to hangry.
Hmm.
I mean, you couldn't already tell
Um,
by throwing that old man around.
That's Lictor's secret. He's always hangry.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so Rain will kind of like trail off on kind of 50-50ing whether or not she would do it.
And I mean, you could feed on him anyway. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to turn him into a ghoul to feed on him.
Yeah. But that means I'd be followed by population, civilization everywhere I go.
I mean, at that point, he's a ghoul. Does that still really count as mortal civilization? He's at that point, he's kind of one of us, kind of not.
Yeah, it would give him.
He's like halfway to embracing him. Put it that way.
Yeah, it does. Ghouls have some limited kindred powers. They do have a very small amount of vitae that they can access, but it's definitely not the same level as any of you, even whenever you were first turned.
Sure, why not? If nobody else is gonna do it.
Rain's boy toy / Happy Meal.
Mm.
Okay.
She'll just lick her lips and be like, "Okay, well, at least I'll have a meal for myself."
Yeah. So you're making him into a ghoul.
Yeah, I guess. Yep.
All right. And you're also feeding.
Can I do both?
Absolutely. Yeah. So to turn him into a ghoul, you have to feed him some of your vitae. So, however you want to do that.
Mhm.
I will let you choose. I'm not going to assume how you want to do that. And then you would just drink from him. Or you could do the other way around. Either way.
I mean, we're not being fancy here. Rain is gonna bite into her own flesh and put it on.
Spit it into his mouth.
Yep.
Just ungag him long enough to spit your own vitae.
It's like a
whatever.
mummy bird and a baby bird.
Yeah. There's nothing
Beautiful.
kinky here at all.
Listen, we're going with the animal instincts here.
Yeah. Makes sense. Being a gangrel and all.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you turn him into a ghoul and then feed on him?
Yep.
Okay. Because you are not killing him, I assume, you would only go down to 1 hunger.
Cool. Nice.
And what about the rest of you? I mean, 2 of you only have 2 hunger. You're not really in any serious danger currently, but Lictor, you're like I said, getting a little bit hangry.
Yeah, I'm fucking starting to regret fucking not taking him as my ghoul now. Son of a bitch. Why was I being so freaking polite? Fuck.
You need to make a pit stop.
You just hear him mutter and curse to himself and kind of yeah, fucking hell.
Do you want us to make a stop? We can find some.
No.
Hit the
Don't
kindred
know.
drive-through.
Yeah.
Go to the drive.
Yeah, it hit the local blood bank drive-through. Yeah,
Actually,
I'd like.
you could hit the drive-through. I don't know if they have it in Manchester, but
Well, yeah,
Blood bank
they'd
drive-thru.
have McDonald's and McDonald's drive-throughs and shit.
that's fair. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you could if you wanted. That is one way to potentially feed.
Oh yeah, let's go find some poor cod
Oh, yeah,
at
but you're a-
fucking McDonald's.
But you're a Sandman, aren't you? So
Yeah, but I mean, when needs must.
yeah, when you gotta eat, you gotta eat.
I'm just picturing a surveillance camera, somebody getting pulled through the window.
I mean,
Yeah, that is the thing.
I mean, yeah.
I
Unless-
don't have the thing that knocks out electronics.
Yeah, that's your werewolf character.
Yes, I don't have Ghost in the Machine. I have unseen passage. It make me invisible, but it does not really much help when someone's flying through a fucking window.
Well, you know, weird things happen.
Just on the local news. Have you seen this McDonald's worker? And then there's the video of them being
Oh, not even
dragged
the
into a
local news.
van.
It'd be all over TikTok. You know
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah.
But also something I just thought about. You're not Anarchs. You're not Camarilla. I mean, there are consequences for breaking the Masquerade, even for independents such as yourselves. But you're less likely to face like immediate consequences.
Fuck it, we're going through McDonald's drive-through, and we're going to pull the worker through.
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
What should wait at this point? So out of game at this point, does Simon still consume human food? Why did I say human?
I don't remember. I think so.
We'll order him a strawberry milkshake for the inconvenience of being fed on, and I'll get the poor sod who tries to hand it to us.
Who's driving? Just
Not
out of
me.
Not me. I got 0 in drive.
Can
I
Randy-
mean-
Bad drive.
I would say I could drive, but I can't make a ghoul and drive at the same time.
That's true.
Afterwards, I can certainly
Yeah, you-
drive.
I would imagine you probably parked somewhere to make a ghoul. You know,
Hmm.
takes a little bit of concentration.
Yeah. I'm a socially inept person who hates civilization and all the people in the driver's seat. Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
Mhm.
Mm,
I mean, I guess I could be driving if no.
I have 0 drive.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's that.
I mean, either way, like even if you don't have any points in it, you can still do it. It's just how well can
Not very well.
you?
Let's make it a more interesting journey. How about?
Yeah. Does Blake have any points in drive?
No,
Oh, maybe.
none of us can drive.
Look,
That
I lived
tracks.
in fucking London. I used the public transport all the time.
Yeah, that does make sense.
While disguised, of course, as an old man.
I'm gonna say, Blake, give me just intelligence, pure intelligence roll,
Okay.
and that will still be with 2 hunger.
Okay. Well. One success.
That'll work. It was a very low bar.
Okay.
You definitely hit a lot of curves. Might clip a taxi or two, but you know, it's still the city. Like that's not that unusual. Especially, I've been to Europe. It's fine. American drivers are bad in their own way. European drivers are bad in scary ways.
True.
But you are able to make it to the McDonald's drive-through, and you're only on the curb slightly whenever
Okay.
you're ordering. So I guess if you're gonna grab this person, you're in a van. Lictor, you would probably have to be in the driver's seat, so you'd probably have to switch places. But it's McDonald's. There's going to be a bit of a queue. It's not like you can't, do a swap real quick.
Or sometimes they do that thing where, like, if you order at the drive-through, they don't give it to you from the window, and then they walk over with the burger.
Does anyone have a cell phone on them?
No.
Or no.
I have a 1 in technology. Would I?
You would probably have
one in resources.
Lictor would probably have a cell
Or
phone.
we could take one of Simon. I presume Simon has
Yeah.
a cell
Oh,
phone.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Take Simon's.
Take Simon to make him unlock it.
He didn't even have like a biometric or a password. He just had to swipe.
Okay. Does it have the McDonald's app on there?
You know what? Let me roll for it, just because I don't know.
There is
Not a-
method in my madness. Trust me.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you, and I'm here for it. I just don't know because weirdly, that's not in the module.
What do you mean? How to go to McDonald's?
0 successes, so no, he does not have the McDonald's.
I'm going to download it quickly while we're in the queue. In fact, we don't even need to get in the queue at this point. We can pull out and go and park in one of the curbside.
That's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So while that's
Amazing.
happening, I'm gonna install the app. I'm going to order the strawberry milkshake for Simon, maybe a cheeseburger as well.
Yeah.
And put it through the app for curbside delivery in bay number 2. I think we parked number 2, and just wait for someone to come bring it out.
Yeah. This is someone who is probably like in college, or I guess college is high school for the UK, isn't it? Or is that
No,
Not
so-
really. No,
okay?
college
So
is
what-
like before. It's like a lower level of uni.
Okay.
So what we call college is grades 11 and 12.
Yeah, we'll say
of high school.
we'll say they're in uni.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah.
They're 18 plus. Put it that way.
Because we're not about harming children.
No, they are definitely at uni as a freshman or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as they come, Lictor is going to thank them and then promptly pull them through the window.
Yeah. Give me strength brawl.
Strength brawl, excellent. I am hungry, so this could become messy. No, it didn't become messy, but I did get 2 successes.
Perfect. They only got 1 success. They didn't have a very large dice pool either. So, the odds were definitely in your favor. Yeah, they struggle a little bit. They make some noise. So I'm going to need, I assume that Lictor's going to probably like try to go to the back seat or something, or at least the
Yes.
passenger seat.
Yeah.
Is
Go to the
Blake
back
taking back over to drive, I'm guessing?
Sure. Yeah.
If you are attempting to get away, because there was a very clear struggle as this person was pulled into the van, I need another. What did I say? Was that intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me another intelligence roll.
Oh boy. Okay.
You can do it.
Bestial failure.
Oh no!
This just got interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, it really did.
So my intelligence is I have 2 dots in intelligence.
Damn, I have 4.
Oh yeah, you.
I have 3.
I should
I have 2.
Damn.
Oh, the worst person. Well, one of the worst people to be driving. I'm gonna say the bestial failure is you start to try to like make your getaway, and you immediately like sideswipe taxi, and they are going to be chasing after you now.
Road rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake has road
At least
rage.
it's the UK, it's not America. You know, slightly less dangerous, maybe.
Okay.
So you're now being
So-
pursued by a taxi driver.
I guess now we're trying to shake this taxi.
Yep. If somebody would like to take over driving, I would allow it, but I'll have you roll to try to do that. 'cause
Switching
it's gonna-
drivers mid chase.
Yeah, it's
Can
gonna be
I
tricky.
can I give the help action? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we'll say you could like yank on somebody. That'll give an extra dice to whoever. So who wants to take over? I mean, Lichter's a little occupied, so
Yeah.
I think he's out of the running here.
Elos can switch spots, maybe with a
Okay.
little
Right.
assistance.
Yeah. I'm gonna have both of you, Blake and Eolus, roll just dex,
Okay.
and one of you, whoever has the worst dex, will get a bonus die from Rain.
I have 2 for Dex.
I have 2 for Dex.
Then I'll let you two decide. Whoever wants it.
I feel like Blake would be getting pulled.
Yeah.
So maybe you get the
Okay.
extra die.
Very Canadian of you.
2 successes.
Fantastic.
1 success.
Okay. I mean, you're definitely fishtailing as you get into the driver's seat. So I'm going to need another intelligence roll, just
Alrighty.
from Aeolus.
Um, 2 successes.
Okay. You are able to get the van under control, and able to lose this taxi in the traffic. Probably get onto the freeway or something, or whatever the UK equivalent is.
Motorway.
Thank you. I'm not up on my.
I can't remember which one's close to Manchester. I feel like it's the M6, but I'm not sure. I'd
I'll
have to
take your
look.
word for it. I've not been to Manchester, so
I've
my
been
UK
through.
experience is very, very limited. Mostly London, and that's about it. That's all you need, right? That's all there is.
Sure. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. So where are you all headed after that little pit stop debacle?
Oh, I'm busy
Yeah.
snacking.
Actually, on that note, Lichter, are you killing this person?
No,
You sound so sure. of yourself.
Sounds so respectful.
I'm half tempted to have my own fecking ghoul at this point. I'm jealous. I'm
It's all
hangry
good.
jealous.
Wait,
all good.
you turned down the first one and now you're jealous?
Yeah, because I got hungry from I got fucking jealous watching it happen. Right, I was right fucking there.
Lichter
Now
got FOMO in the moment.
yeah. So I'm gonna do the same thing as Rain because I'm not gonna bite myself. I'm just gonna get some sharp implement that I probably have because I'm fucking sketchy as fuck, and just kind of like fucking jab my hand with some shit and then force it to the poor fast food worker's mouth. They don't put this in your fucking milkshake machines, do they?
Yeah. Give me strength brawl or strength athletics to because they're not gonna cooperate with this for sure.
That's 5 successes.
Jesus. Yeah.
Wow.
How do you do it? Like, how do you restrain this person in the back of this moving van?
I'm gonna assume that there are seatbelts or something maybe to help restrain cargo or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use one of those to restrain the poor bastard, and then literally. So kind of push them against the side of the wall, click them in, and make sure they can't fucking, can't get a hold on the latch. And then I'm going to put the hand to their mouth and to the point where if they don't take the blood off of it, they're going to suffocate.
I would say this is surprisingly sexual, but you know what? This is vampires, so like, is it surprising?
I mean, I've got them tied up. It's not fucking shibari level rope work, but it works.
Hey, yeah. You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
And then after, assuming that they do drink without deciding to resist,
with 5 successes, I think you can make it happen.
And then I'm going to feed on them and complete the bond.
Okay. Yeah, so you do not completely lose your hunger. You'll still have 1.
Yep.
But having fed the 2 of you, what's the plan from here?
I'm going to give Simon that milkshake and the burger. Here.
He does not eat them.
Our condolences.
You say after burning his grandpa alive.
Our condolences. Our commiseration gift for burning your grandfather is
It's a Big Mac.
It's a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Not even a Big Mac. This is just like a basic cheeseburger.
No.
And
It's just like a $1 menu cheeseburger.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Right.
exactly. Oh man, sorry about your grandpa. Here's some McDonald's. You didn't even get him a Happy Meal. There's no toy or anything.
Damn.
Well, he's also not happy, so I feel like that would be unfair of us to give him a Happy Meal when he's
that's
clearly
true.
not happy.
That's true. So are we headed to the church at this point?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have nowhere else to go.
I mean, technically you have everywhere else to go. You do have a van. I'm not telling you where you got to go. So, yeah, you make your way to the church. Are you just walking right in?
So maybe we like stoop outside and make a plan
Yeah. I agree.
and not just waltz in there.
There are
Yeah.
a good number of people waiting to get into the church. Seems like they're probably there, for like a free dinner. Maybe these are people who are largely unhoused or just maybe a little bit in desperate times and come here for the fact that it is a free meal. They may have to listen to normally, it'd be like a sermon about Jesus. This is a sermon about Cain. So, yeah, arguably better.
I'm gonna make sure that Simon is not gonna out himself or what happened by trying to intimidate him.
I believe you have an ability that would be useful here, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So if I use Eyes of the Beast, so my eyes go red, and I get a bonus in intimidation rolls.
Yeah.
So Rain will kind of crouch down with her messy hair, her kind of raggedy clothing, and then like take his face with her hands, look him in the eyes, not snap her fingers, but like with a snap of her fingers, it'll like her eyes will like glow red into like this bestial form because she is a grand girl. So
Right.
very much animalistic here.
Yeah.
And she'll kind of growl at him and say, "And there will be no telling anyone about what happened in the last 24 hours. Or I swear to God, that will be your last cheeseburger ever."
The one he didn't eat.
That'll be the last kindness I ever do for you.
I believe you have to make a rouse check here, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So let's resolve that first.
How do I do a rouse check?
Just a single die roll, no hunger.
Single die roll. Right. Roll 0 successes.
Okay. You do gain a level of hunger, but you are still able to intimidate. So let's roll that check next.
Okay. So
Either charisma or manipulation, and then intimidation.
we will do manipulation because that's slightly higher. So intimidate is 6 with Eyes of the Beast.
Fantastic.
Plus manipulation.
And you'll have 2 hunger.
2 hunger, yes. Possible bestial failure.
Oh no!
No.
Any successes?
3. 3
Okay.
successes.
Okay. How would you overdo that? Like, you're gonna hurt him physically, not just emotionally. How would you overdo that?
Probably like grip his head a little bit too hard just to make the emphasis and forget that she is a strong girl.
Yeah.
And just she gets she gets pulled into like the passion of the moment of being this scary being because she has this cool ability that she can do of being intimidating, and she knows it and she's done it before, and she's like, oh yeah, I get to do this thing that I'm really good at, and then she gets like really into it, and then is just like to the point where she doesn't realize how strong she is, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe even like dig your fingernails
Yeah.
into him a little bit.
Like kind of go into a bit too animalistic in her form and in her ways, and
Yeah.
kind of maybe dig her hands into his skull. He's still like a human-y kind of person.
Yeah, he's
So
for all intents and purposes, he's basically human.
Mhm.
For as long as you keep him as a ghoul, so you have to continue to feed him your vitae regularly in order to remain a ghoul. So if you chose to like just kill him or like let him go or whatever, he would go back eventually. But for as long as you do keep him as a ghoul, he does not age, and that is like one of the biggest things. And like I said, he has a little bit of vitae himself that he can use, but he is essentially bound and enthralled to and by you. So yeah, I mean, you make him bleed a little bit, but
the rat worked too well.
He seems kind of into it. He's like, yes, ma'am. Whatever you say.
Good.
He's a sub.
It may smell a little like pee now in the van.
I mean, Rain's not gonna be off put by that.
Yeah. Not the first time. All right. So you're planning to try to blend into the crowd, from what I understand?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe Blake was fairly well dressed, or maybe I'm thinking of Victor.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be a little trickier, unless you have anything you want to do to prepare.
Do we see? So when you describe the people outside of the church, we would notice that they're dressed pretty.
Yeah, I mean, Rain, you would still stand out among most of them. Maybe the ones who are actually unhoused, you would not quite blend in because you're just a little bit more feral. Because you just embrace the animalistic.
I'm like a homeless forest person instead of an urban homeless person.
Yeah, and you embrace the animal side a little bit. So maybe showering doesn't happen as often as most people. rain a little funky smelling? Maybe. It's fine.
It's a natural odor. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. No deodorant for sure.
Nope.
Um, I'm looking because I know Lichter has some abilities to do things, but that's looks like just to himself.
Yeah.
So
I'm straight up destitute, so I have no home or
so you may like dress kind of nice-ish, you know. Maybe not as nice as Blake, but you definitely look the part.
Yeah.
Mostly because you look like the light is leaving your eyes, partially because you're a kindred, but also because like, capitalism sucks for all of us.
Yeah. So I fit right in.
Yeah. Blake, what are you doing to try to blend in here?
I guess. Well, I'm gonna check and see. I don't know. Maybe there's a coat or something in the van. Something I can.
What do you have for resources?
I have.
Or I
Like
guess
in my
background and
I have
let's
on
see.
me. I have some money. I have a digital recorder and a notebook filled with scribblings. Is what it says in my equipment.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
my
Let me see.
background. I mean, as a journalist, so I'm going to go in and say I'm doing a story on the church, which I don't think is
That's
going to get.
actually, they are trying to recruit people, so that could work.
Okay.
Cover
I
up.
don't hate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? I won't even make you roll. I think that's especially if you're going to be talking to the people, trying to sell this story. Yeah, they would. I mean, they're waiting in line. They have nothing better to do, so I'm sure that they would be willing to talk to someone just to help pass the time. Let's see. So you talk to a woman who appears to be maybe in her mid 30s or possibly looks a little bit older. Definitely smokes like a train. So it's very possible that she looks older because of that. And also just poverty ages us, more than we would all like to admit. So her name is Fiona. She wears kind of worn sports clothing and a thick coat, and her hair is thin and matted, and she's missing teeth. But she tells you nothing but good things about Father Vaughn and the words of Cain, and how much she loves the church and how she's been coming here for a while now. All the good things that they've done for her.
Okay. So yeah, taking recordings, I guess, using my
Yeah.
just
Making notes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe ask a couple other people just to make sure, just to really sell the story. Ask a couple other people, what brings you here? How long have you been coming to the church?
There is a young man, probably early 20s, who tells you about how he was an addict for most of his life, for as long as he can remember at least, but how he's had visions of Cain and how the church has saved him and he feels cleansed, and how he was able to overcome his addiction through Cain.
It's very interesting. So it's all good thing. Like everyone's telling me, definitely good.
Yeah. Nobody has a bad thing to say. Like literally no one who you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from, if you're talking to your friends. So the other thing that you learn, they talk about, this is called actually the Church of Enoch. You learn because Enoch is Cain's son. You also know that because Enoch is considered an outcast, that they all feel kind of like kindred spirits because they're largely outcasts as well from society. They've heard a lot of sermons about how probably all of you would know as kindred that you all have your banes based on your clan, which comes from the curse of Cain. Whenever Cain committed the first murder, became a vampire, God cursed him, and that is kind of passed down to all of you who are his descendants. The church, though, has been preaching that Cain was not cursed, but Abel actually is the one who did it. That Abel sought to bring down the communities that Cain was building, and Cain was cast out by Abel, not by God. So it's very different from even what you might have heard from other kindred, especially because the Church of Cain is, even amongst kindred, considered heretical for sure.
Mhm.
Any other things you want to ask about?
Yes. I mean, everyone is saying only good things. I want to see, is it because they don't actually have anything bad to say, or that they don't want to say say anything bad?
That's a good question. Let's see.
I'm trying to get a sense of how much control kind of the church has over these people.
Yeah. Let's do intelligence and
We know I'm not good at that. Yeah.
an investigation, maybe.
Okay. I can do investigation.
Does that help even it out a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm a little confused here. Sorry. Under actions, it says investigate. I have 6, but under skills, investigation is 4.
Okay, because it would be adding. What's your intelligence?
2. Okay, so 2.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
all together.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
makes sense.
The module that your character sheet is actually from is a little bit more beginner friendly than some of the others, and so it kind of has that already all figured out.
Okay, so I got 4 successes and a possible bestial failure.
Oh man. I'm gonna say that your bestial failure here is just that you're going to gain 2 hunger.
Okay.
But 4 successes, you are pretty sure that the humans, who seems like who you've been talking to, don't seem to really know what's going on necessarily. They hear a lot about Cain, but not really anything about like kindred, and there's no obvious signs that they've been influenced in any kind of way outside of just charismatic church people.
Yeah. Okay. You said that was 2 hunger added?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very hungry now.
That will happen. So as you're interviewing, is anybody else doing anything in particular, or are you just kind of trying to blend in and listen to what's going on?
Yeah, just blending and listening.
Blend in as best as possible with the more smelly population.
Yeah. You sniff them out, and you may not like people very much, but these are close to the kind of people you might maybe not actually associate with. So as you're all kind of going about your business and trying to figure out what's going on, the doors on the side of the church open, and you see 2 confessors who you have previously seen come out. They have a table and heater set up. They're carrying food. Looks like maybe soup and big bowls of bread.
Go in.
Yeah.
So it's less go in, they're bringing it out.
Oh,
Ah,
they don't want people in.
Maybe.
kind of gesture Simon to come over and be like, "Can you get us in?"
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the sway that my grandfather has, but
Yeah, well, he's not entirely here right now, as you know.
yep,
Kind of
I saw
eyes
that.
him intimidatingly. Like, you could easily join him.
No, please, ma'am, don't. Please don't.
Kind of gestures towards the door.
Okay, I'll do what I can. I won't make any promises. And he starts walking over and just greets the two confessors. And I guess he would say that, unless you think otherwise, that you're all there to convert.
Mm.
Yeah. And yeah, they welcome you in. They say that you can go in the side door, and one of them is going to escort you. Let's see. So you're going in a different way. So as you're going in, though, you can overhear the other confessor who's still out there. Or I guess they didn't describe it very well, because they say that they bring it out, but then they're giving a sermon inside and the people are listening. So I guess that you all go inside. That's weirdly worded. And you see that these people are, sitting in the pews listening to the sermon by this woman, and she's standing at the pulpit, illuminated by lamps that line the church. The floor is dirty and covered in pigeon droppings, discarded leaflets, cigarette stubs, and the noddist among us would recognize that Julia is speaking and reading passages from the Book of Nod. And she says that, "Mark the shadows which flies, mark the dragon which rises, mark the darkness which moves, mark the shadow of the moon, mark the angel that dies, mark the maiden that weeps, mark the children embraced, mark the clanless who run. There will be a time when sire will drive out childer, and sire will abandon childer to the son's mercy. There will be no mercy for the clanless, for there will be no mercy for the clanless. Mongrel though they be, upon their forgotten sires shall be a curse of Oriel. Upon their hateful sires shall be the curse that comes of crossing Cain. Upon their lazy sires shall be the curse of the hunters hunted." So, a lot of shit talking kindred who don't join them, basically. At the end of her sermon, one of the other confessors comes out to give kind of a weird bastardized version of the rite of communion, which is probably a little bit off-putting, like even if you're not particularly religious.
We lost Cam.
Yep,
There.
I saw that.
Hi,
Hey,
sorry. I
that's
had
okay.
a
It
connection
happens.
issue for a second.
Yeah, I understand. I realized that you were missing. I was like, oh crap. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's kind of they're giving like a bastardized version of the rite of communion. It's definitely not wine, Rain. You have probably the best sense of smell.
Mm.
It's vitae that they're giving these people.
Shady.
Oh.
So
I will point that out to the group. I will like shuffle over to some of the other members and be like, "That's not wine. That's vitae. Pass it on."
To the church people, or like your
No. To like
Okay.
our tiny infiltrating group.
yeah, so the coterie.
Doing a
Gotcha.
game of telephone, passing it down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you could tell before that they weren't like ensorcelled. There was no kindred power per se that was like twisting their minds, but it's pretty hard to tell sometimes if someone is a ghoul unless you just know. And yeah, it seems like that is what they're doing here, is they are making all of these people into ghouls.
I actually have an ability that might help
Okay.
with that.
Ooh.
The sense of the unseen. Oh,
Okay.
I guess that's not really the same.
Yeah, that would be more like spirits and things. but
Yeah, never mind.
It's a good thought. I like it. It also would be there are some like kindred abilities where people can essentially like stealth in, and so you'd be able to see them.
Yeah.
So the rites that they are giving, now the sermon is over, mention Sol Invictus a lot, which you would all probably at least somewhat recognize as a Roman god. Also talks about how Mithras, not Jesus, Mithras, which also Roman, died on the cross for their sins. The person who had been preaching previously does pull out a phone though, and yeah, she after checking, you assume a text message, gives off a supernatural aura that you would all recognize as kindred power, and she commands the congregation to follow her as they head out into the streets of Manchester, and she proclaims the revolution has come and they will cleanse the city.
How do we stop?
This is some real civilization bullshit right here.
Right?
So, I mean, I think you all would reasonably know you should not go out there with them. That would not be good.
Uh-huh.
Especially because they would expect you to be doing not what they say because they're controlling you, but they would want you to be doing the same things that they're doing.
Mhm.
So probably hiding somewhere would be your best move here.
How stealthy? Oh, I have no stealth. Great.
Are there places to hide?
Give me a wits awareness roll.
Wits. Okay. And possible bestial failure. one success.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, we're gonna just call this another 2 hunger. Which you fed earlier, so you're probably fine, right?
I'm at 4 hunger.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Nothing's on fire. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I have my blood bank with me, so
That's true. You do have your permanent.
my boy Simon, my boy.
Oh man, I love this. Yeah, you are able to find because this is like a Catholic church that they've converted. You're able to hide in like a confession booth. It's probably a little bit cramped, but you could fit like 2 or 3 of you in one, and then the rest in the other.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then after they all clear out, yeah, what are you doing?
So, did we see when we walked into the ceremony? Did we see where they all shuffled in from, or were they kind of there ready And
They
we
were
didn't.
kind of there already.
Okay.
I will say, just because you already mentioned wanting to use it, Eolus, if you would like to use your unseen sense, go for it.
Okay, I will.
And I wouldn't normally give you that, but you already asked about it, and it is relevant.
Okay, so that's wits and auspic or resolve and auspics. They're the same. So that's 4. Uh-oh. Possible messy crit.
Oh, okay.
4 successes.
There's nobody around, so it's kind of hard for it to be messy. Because that would normally be like you are, like dismembering someone, or they're spraying blood in some gruesome way. And also you're using your auspics, so I don't really know how that would be too messy. But it is a crit, so let's see. You can see that the stone basin that once held holy water is stained with blood. And it gives like a sense of communion. It kind of feels like things that are used for some religious rites by the Sabbat, which is one of the other major kindred factions. And there are other things that remind you of like Bacchanalian rites. A lot of unseen, like no one else can see this. You can kind of see almost like through a veil that people had stood around this basin, dripping their vitae into it. And there is a trap door underneath the basin.
I will definitely tell everybody that. There's a trapdoor under that piece.
And all the other stuff too.
Yeah, and all the other stuff as well.
What
No,
the
just
place in
the
the sky
just the
does.
trapdoor. That's
Yeah.
the only important.
Should we go through the trapdoor?
I mean,
Maybe
should we check it
that
out?
the coast is clear.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like in the church, or like checking
Yeah.
the back door to make sure there's nobody down there?
A bit of both.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be anybody in the church at this point. It seems empty.
Yep.
Okay.
So, let's see. Ooh, okay. So as you're inspecting this trap door, there have been a lot of stories you've heard, probably even whenever you were, Blake, you were checking for people who may have followed you. You might have overheard some kind of mumblings about a lot of violence in the city. And as you're inspecting the trap door, there is a police helicopter flying overhead with its light shining down, not on the church necessarily, but you can kind of see it through the stained glass. It reminds you very intensely of what happened in London right before the raids, when the Second Inquisition came to wipe out the Kindred.
So could this be some kind of like bunker or something to avoid that?
Potentially, but also you would definitely have some paranoia at this point of you all escaped from this mass murder of Kindred, and any kind of sign that might be about to happen here in Manchester would be, because this was very recent, a pretty terrifying thing, I would imagine.
Mhm.
I think we should go in.
Yeah.
maybe,
I mean,
Mhm.
I
to get out of this.
absolutely. So beneath the basin is a pedestal and a steel hatch that leads downwards. There are stone steps that lead down into a crypt, and the walls have engravings of coat of arms that are set into the walls, urns and tombs dating back to the 1600s. And there is apparently no one down here that you can see, at least in the main chamber of the crypt.
Does it look like it's been recently traveled?
Definitely, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's dusty, but there are places where obviously people have been through. There are also some bookcases, about half a dozen bunks, some tables, a small TV, landline phone, which is weird. Who even uses those anymore? There's also a computer and a printer and reams of paper that seem to have fairly recently been printed, you would guess, that are pamphlets for the Church of Enoch.
Hmm. So this was very much like the staff quarters of whoever is running this church. cult
That's
thing.
definitely a safe assumption.
Okay. Yeah, Rain's gonna keep like sniffing out for smells of people, I guess.
Sure.
Or more like signs of people
Yeah.
being there. And
Yeah,
maybe and then kind of talk to the group and say, what are we actually expecting to find here?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I guess any kind
'Cause-
of plans that they might have, or
Yeah.
they said they were expanding north, right? So we're trying maybe any communications.
Intelligence is the word you lot are looking for. Speaking
Yes.
strictly as an speaking strictly as an information broker myself.
Exactly.
So
Rain, as you're sniffing around, you don't necessarily find or smell people or necessarily kindred, but there is a draft coming from behind the bookcase.
Gonna go sniff the bookcase some more.
Yeah, you can see that it is just barely, like a few millimeters maybe, off from where it should be in theory, and that seems to be where the draft is coming from. And there are like drag marks on the floor.
Okay. Well, Rain will point that out, but say that maybe we should double check that there's nothing in this room first. But I think there's something, and kind of gestures to the bookcase behind this thing here.
So you don't find anything intelligence wise. There's nothing like useful. Also, Charday.
What is she now doing?
3 nose emojis. It also, just like looking out of the corner of my eye, kind of looked like dicks at first. So, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything useful intelligence wise. Just a lot of like church pamphlet kind of stuff that they would hand out, probably mostly to humans.
But it definitely
Mhm.
piques my interest. This is what I do.
I mean, yes and no, because there's not really anything that you wouldn't already know on there, because it is
Okay,
very like
That's fair.
base level. Like, we're not going to tell you, we're not going to break the masquerade and say like, hey, we're all vampires, come join us.
Mhm.
Because obviously they were not, the humans
I
were
mean-
not aware of what was happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
could
Right.
be evidence if you're writing a story to
Yes.
expose these people.
Thinking I
It's
might take a couple for for notes for later.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I'll take one just as possibly a historical record.
In case you don't all get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Inquisition. So are you checking out the bookcase?
Yeah, I will ask whoever I would probably know the people I'm with at this point and
Mhm.
ask someone who's strong as well to help me I guess try and pull the bookcase because I'm not an intelligent being, so I'm not gonna try and figure out where the actual like probably lever or whatever that is. I'm just gonna like try to use brute force to
I feel like if Rain would probably have tried it first before asking for help, if she's kind of, more the strong independent type than the I'm gonna ask for help type,
mm,
she would not have any trouble opening it. There's not like a secret lever. It's more just that it's a hidden tunnel.
I think that it'd
Secret
be funny. I think that it'd be funny that she asks for help and then starts pulling and then goes, "Oh, this is not as heavy as I thought it was."
Yeah, yeah. Smacks herself a little bit with the.
It kind of falls
the-
back with the with the with the force of it being opened.
I love that. Yeah. So behind the door, the interior of the secret tunnel is braced with old iron plates that leads deeper underground, and these tunnels seem much older. They're more roughly hewn, where you already were, this staff area, so to speak, seems a lot nicer. And as you descend, the rocks have carvings in Latin and ancient Persian. The tunnel winds its way downwards, and the cobwebs are thick, the air is musty, and you can hear the trickling of water as it seeps in from the canal above. The side chambers are lined with tombs and bones piled high. These tombs are unusual as they are chained, but they appear to have been broken open from the inside out. And as you move deeper, past these side chambers, you enter a main chamber, and it measures roughly 10 meters across, which thanks rugby, so I know what 10 meters is. Otherwise, I would be totally lost. And it is nearly circular. There's a passageway at the opposite end, and it is cold and slightly damp in here as water trickles in from part of the wall. In the center of the chamber, there is a round pit, roughly 3 meters across and about 2 meters deep. The bottom of the pit is soaked and has puddles of water. You think that it might be close to like a underground canal network or sewers potentially.
Is there anyone?
Okay.
Okay. Yep, go ahead. No, is there anyone in the room?
Nope.
I was just gonna ask. Okay.
Nope. Good.
Oh, sorry. Is my sense the unseen still going on, or is it like done?
I mean, it lasts the scene, I think, right?
Yeah, it just says passive. I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's passive. I didn't realize that. So yeah, you didn't have to do anything for it then. Never mind. Interesting. So yeah, it would still be going then. Let's see. At one end of this main room, there is a statue about 2 feet high. I love how it goes between meters and feet. That is carved in the shape of a winged lion with a key clasped between its front paws. And probably Aeolus would recognize this as a representation who is kind of related to the demiurge, which is like God, but not.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, and just like general knowledge, the demiurge is like, because in the Bible, like Old Testament God is described as like wrathful and whatever, and then New Testament is like love and peace, and it's like two totally different things. I believe the demiurge is like the Old Testament, who like kind of set things in motion, and then there's like the other God, Don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong.
If you're going like Gnostic, the demiurge is a god of the physical world, created everything physical, whereas the god of kind of the New Testament is like the spiritual world. The demiurge isn't great because the physical world is bad.
Yeah, and that I mean is kind of along the lines of where I was going, and that's perfect because they do describe this this church or cult as being somewhat Gnostic in influence. So, on the opposite side is a small wooden altar with a number of scrolls, books with padlocks, a bull's skull, and jars of blood. Let's see. Ooh, so for your unseen sense, Alana, the pit has been used recently for some sort of mystical ritual.
Mm. Okay. Apparently there's a ritual here.
You can definitely smell blood.
Is it so? It's human blood.
Yeah, because otherwise it would be vitae. So yeah,
Yeah.
it would have to be human blood.
Okay.
And there's probably a bit of both, I would imagine. Especially our two Tremere would know that blood magic is a big thing, especially for that clan in particular, and a couple of others. So you'd think that it's likely related to that in some way, some sort of blood ritual, potentially.
Could we discern what it is, or basically we can just discern that a ritual was happened?
You kind of just get like magic vibes more than anything. It's a little hard to tell from what you have. But like I said, there is a passageway that continues on if you want to go that way.
To the passage?
Yeah.
Because we want to look at any of the random stuff.
Yeah. I mean, are you taking any of this stuff, like the scrolls or books or anything with you?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But they're also locked up, right? So
Well, they have a padlock on them, but it's not like they're like locked to the table or anything.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
More it's like a diary almost.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, may as well take it with us. Might come in handy later.
I don't imagine they're like Lisa Frank, though. I think they're a little bit more bland and boring, and maybe some like cult kind of stuff in there. But I don't know. Maybe Lisa Frank made a cult. I don't know.
And the bottles of blood, are they just like human blood or just?
Well, let's see. I can't remember. Do you have anything that you're able to use to discern? I don't remember if that was you or if that was Amanda's character.
Oh no, I think I got rid of that one thing.
Dang it, Amanda.
Okay. I have a taste for blood, extinguish with tie, and blood walk. That's about it.
Oh, those would definitely be helpful.
For this?
Because if you taste it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. I'll do that. Sorry.
Okay, that's why I was like, I can't remember if that was the one that we switched to, because you kind of were having the same character or not. Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I will taste the blood.
Yeah, it. What does the blood walk do again?
Blood walk. Oops, sorry, I went too far. This ritual expands upon the power of a taste for blood, allowing the user to learn more details about the subject studied, assuming the subject is a vampire.
Oh, okay. It's not a vampire.
Okay.
But
Not.
It is absolutely human blood. You get kind of a sense of the humor of the blood, because that's a thing in vampire. And there's several different humors, and it seems like they've probably taken a lot of blood from a lot of people.
Okay.
Shocking for vampires. I know.
So shocking.
Mhm.
Would it,
Who knew?
is this blood usable or is it just like in a
Uh,
bottle for
if
ritual?
someone were a bagger, yes.
Okay.
But to most of you, it would not have any real benefit.
Okay.
Because it's something that we didn't talk about because it hasn't been relevant for this. But Alyssa,
Yeah.
I know we talked about like blood bags and things like that typically are not able to give any benefit to most kindred. It's too like old, it's too processed, things like that. But the bagger hunter type, they are able to actually drink it. So if anyone has that, that is usable for you, but I don't remember if anyone does.
Speaking of blood bags, I'm going to take this opportunity to feed because I'm at for hunger. And if we end up in
You're walking
conflict, I have a feeling it will go so well.
Yeah. Actually, right, did you bring your ghoul or did you leave them in the van?
I brought mine because
Okay.
We have a McDonald's worker with us.
yes,
Oh man. I now just want like art of this, gloomy dungeon. A McDonald's burger. Surrounded by vampires.
Four vampires, one grandson, and a McDonald's worker go into a church.
Yeah.
What happens?
It sounds like a really bad joke.
I love it.
Let's see. So yeah, if you're feeding, you can go down to 1 hunger.
Yes, please.
And realistically, like Blake, I'm sure if you ask nicely, one of your friends could loan you a Happy Meal.
Can I borrow your ghoul?
Sure, go for it.
Thank you.
All right.
May as
so-
well put what's his face's Luke's grandson to use.
I love
So
the
just
idea that Simon no longer has a name. He's just Luke's grandson.
So you say the hunger it goes down by 1 or to 1?
2-1. And unless you're killing Rise Ghoul,
No,
I
I'm
think
not.
that he might not like that.
New call.
Also, I think the Ghoul might not like that either.
yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
So, as you are feeding, you can hear the sounds of gunfire from above. And it seems to be not horribly far away, despite the fact that you've descended quite a bit, and it echoes through the tunnels.
Does that sound like something Rain would have heard before, like some of the confrontations she's been in previously?
Like Inquisition?
Yeah?
Definitely. And you hear inhuman screams. You can assume kindred.
Yeah, Rain's gonna start like, okay, people, let's haul ass.
No complaints from me.
Which way are you headed?
There was a hallway, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going forward.
Okay. Yeah, so you can hear boots storming down the hallway behind you. There are more screams. You can hear gunfire. Obviously, these kindred are being murdered. And the boots are rapidly approaching. They're moving a lot faster than you have been so far. You can hear like they're using, obviously some kind of like walkie-talkies, and you can hear kind of echoing from that. You hear 2 Bs down, 1 for extraction, 1 dusted. There's a secondary sub-basement awaiting backup.
Oh no. Oh.
Fucking Noro, it's the
All-
Inquisitors.
So as you make your way down this hallway, it leads back up into the church, but you are able to kind of peer out, and you see that these clearly Inquisition. You see there's an emblem, like a badge, that says SO13. And it also says Hemivore Extermination Unit.
Do we know what a hemivore is? Do I know what a hemivore is?
I mean, in character, maybe not. Out of character, it's a vampire.
Yeah, and I gathered as much.
Yeah. You may or may not know that, but you've definitely seen the SO13. That is 100% who largely was leading the attack on London. You are able to witness as other kindred are gunned down with shotguns and pneumatic stake guns.
Does it look like there's a way that we could not get into the gunfight to either sneak or go around?
It definitely seems like you could potentially get to a side door if you are especially sneaky.
Am I especially sneaky? I have a feeling the answer to that question is no. I have 2 stealth.
I have 0.
It's not terrible, but it's not too good either.
What's your dex?
My dex is better.
Okay.
My dex is a 3.
Okay. Yeah. That's not terrible. A 5's pretty decent.
I will kind of gesture for the group, including the 2 ghouls, I guess, to come over and kind of point out the way that I noticed that we could go.
I will tell you this. The ghouls are going to have a much harder time being sneaky. Kindred are way better at that than a human ghoul. Just FYI. So you may have to sacrifice or leave them behind.
It could be.
I look at Simon in the eyes and say, "You've been a good boy."
Just a single tear.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what's the plan?
What do we think? Do we
I
make
feel
a
like
break
it's
for it?
early. Yeah, maybe. I feel like it's gonna end so bad.
Yeah, let's do it.
So are you sending them in as like a distraction? Slash
Yeah,
sacrifice?
they could distract. They are very good at distracting. While we make a break for it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Lictor and kind of gesture like, "Are you willing to give up your blood bag?"
Yes.
So much thought.
He nods.
We're done with the
immediately,
Happy Meal.
Yeah. There's something
for it.
else that Lictor's going to do.
Okay.
Got to find it real quick again.
While you're looking, I am curious, are you just going to send these 2 ghouls? Like, are they just going to walk out and be like, "Hey, we're ghouls," or "Hey, we're here, don't shoot us"? Or are you going to like give them more complex orders?
If they start running away, that would lead to a chase where they would be distracted. If we could
But
get that to happen.
But also, if they just like run out from this little hallway, it
Yeah.
would
And just
draw
get shot.
attention. Yeah, it would also draw attention
Mhm.
to where
The
you're
hallway.
all currently hiding.
Mm,
So I'm gonna say that you're maybe behind kind of the pulpit, a little bit like off to the side,
Mhm.
and even maybe angled away so that you're able to get a little bit of a peek around the corner, and you can see that these shotguns that they're using seem to light things on fire a little bit. Maybe they're using like phosphorescent rounds. Um,
Mhm.
for no particular reason, I'm sure. And, you can see that they could possibly like go behind the pulpit and not give away your position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would work. Better
Um,
than anything I could come up with.
I
And then-
found what I'm looking for, Rick.
Make them run
Unseen,
away.
unseen passage. With this power, the vampire can move around while staying hidden. The user is functionally invisible as per usual obfuscate limitations. So I just have to make a rouse check,
Okay.
which
And
is
it's just you, or can you extend that to
just me. I wish I could extend it to the others.
shame?
Okay.
Shame, really.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
No,
love how
I'm
this is-
staying with the group. It's just if
Yeah.
thing goes to shit.
I love how this is like the exact opposite of how our werewolf game went the other day, where like they had the group stealth that could mute everybody.
Yeah, it was so great.
Yeah. Okay, where's the rules for a rouse check? I've read this
Oh, you just
earlier,
it's
but
a single die.
yes,
no hunger.
single hunger die, is it? Regular.
No, just a single die. Yeah.
regular.
no hunger.
Okay. No hunger for this one. And roll. I failed, so my hunger goes up by 1.
But you're still able to use the ability.
Yeah, so functionally invisible. As long as I do not emit an overpowering odor and no sound louder than a whisper, this automatically works. Only if the observer has their attention drawn to the user, can they use the detection roll. Sense the unseen from all specs 1 can also detect them. No one is actively observing me right now,
Right.
are they?
Well, other than your friends, but
Because it will automatically fail in such a case.
I mean, you could just. Oh my God! So you're like the guy from Mystery Men, where
Yeah,
you can only be invisible if no one's looking at you.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Except I think once you're invisible, like it's fine because then they can't see you. But yeah, I just imagine like.
I
Just,
mean, tell us
don't
to
look
look
at me.
away.
Yeah, don't look
Yeah,
at me.
we'll just
Look over there.
That's
Hey,
even
look.
better. Like look over there, and then just.
Hey, look! There's a McDonald's Happy Meal over there.
And then Lictor's just gone functionally.
That's handy.
neat trick.
Yeah.
I have
so-
another one in my toolkit if I do get seen.
Oh, there you go. So I guess Lictor, are you going first?
Yeah. Because unseen passage and all. So yeah, I will go first.
I am not even going to have you roll because you are functionally invisible. So you are safe. Who's going next?
I'm gonna
Uh,
take somebody with better stealth first.
I have a 5 stealth total. So
Sounds like
I
Rain's going next.
could go.
Is no, because that would probably break my ability. Because is there a way that I can kind of signal it's safe? Go.
Oh yeah, no, you would definitely be giving up your invisibility at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Go, Rain, go. 2 successes.
That'll work.
Yeah.
So Rain, you're able to sneak by. Not the best stealth, but you get there, you get to the side door.
I'm very capable of hiding in bushes, but not in churches.
Yeah. Jesus does, or Cain in this case, I guess, makes it hard to hide.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I only have 2 in Dex. I don't have anything in stealth, so.
Okay.
I also have nothing in stealth and 2 index.
Okay.
Oh,
You know
no.
what?
One go together.
Let's just have you both roll at the same time. We'll resolve this. You'll either escape together or die together.
That was so
I got 1 success.
No success.
Oh no.
no.
Okay.
Willpower.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can reroll using willpower.
Will yourself to live.
Yeah.
Or unlive.
Okay. Hey, 0 successes.
No.
Wait,
Oh,
hang
man.
on. Yeah, nope, 0 successes.
Hmm.
Sorry, guys.
Alana, what about you?
Oh, I just 1 success.
Oh, you didn't? Did you reroll or did it not change?
Oh no, I don't. It didn't give me the option.
Oh no, you would just
Oh,
the
I would just use
willpower
a will.
point, and you could just reroll
Oh,
the
okay.
other. You would just be rerolling one though.
Wait, oh, I rolled 4 successes. How is that possible?
Did you?
I only have 2 dice.
Yeah. So you must have gotten a crit because that will give you 4
Oh,
successes.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, one of you does not escape this unscathed, for sure. The rest of you are able to make it. Blake, you are spotted, and 3 of these Inquisition people turn their shotguns to you. The rest of you can see. I mean, you're not so far away unless you're just gonna run as soon as you get to the door. But I imagine you probably wouldn't do that. Maybe.
I just
Question
trying
mark?
to like wait, please don't shoot me. I'm just a reporter. I was here doing a story.
Yeah.
I'm just investigating.
So what I'm gonna have you do, you're gonna need to give me a rouse check to attempt to give the blush of life, because otherwise you look very dead.
Okay. So what do I need to do for that? It's
Just a single die roll, no hunger,
Okay.
Go, go, go.
no pressure. Also,
No success. Can I willpower reroll?
you can, but you have to keep the result.
Come on, come on.
1 success.
Okay. You are able to will the vitae in you to flow enough to make you appear human.
Okay.
They are going to arrest you, though. Like, they are coming over with cuffs.
Oh God.
Is anybody else
Really
doing anything?
don't
Because like you can
do that.
unless you
because-
ran off, you can still see that Blake is like about to be detained, and the blush of life will not last forever, and especially if they like scan them, they're gonna see that they are not warm.
How many of them are there?
3 of them are coming straight at Blake, but there are a lot more.
Oh, I don't know.
I try and convince them not to arrest me.
Yeah. Give me.
You don't want to do that. I mean, if you just let me go, I definitely will not include any
Oh,
of this in
have
what just
we-
happened.
Have the blood bags gone anywhere yet?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, because that was kind of what we talked about. Is like they would be like a distraction. Yeah, so they're currently being about to be detained, much like Blake
Okay.
is.
Damn it.
I do have compel and awe.
Okay. Remind me. Of,
Awe is anyone in the presence of a vampire finds their attention inexplicably drawn to them. They'll listen to the vampire speak and agree on subjects. I don't know if that'll work really.
Yeah, I have awe also.
I mean, you could both try it. I mean,
Okay.
especially if Aeolus is going to like kind of step back into maybe divert some attention /
Yeah.
convince them.
And then I can do.
What's up, Ray?
Here's Chris.
I've got something else that might work if this. Yeah.
Is it something that if they totally royally fail this would be useless? I ask because that's a very real possibility.
It's Mask of 1,000 Faces, so I could disguise myself as one of their commanding officers, come over and say, no, this one's coming with me for interrogation. And
I
the side
think
door.
that you would probably know that's gonna be it's risky still, but that's probably a safer bet than them trying to awe these people, especially because they are Inquisition. An
Yeah. What
illusion like that, and it is also somewhat just like a physical disguise, not just illusion, but something like that is more likely to not be noticed or resisted because it's more subtle. Whereas the Inquisition is trained and they know kind of what your powers are and what to expect.
Yeah.
So if he's going to do it, he better do it soon.
He whispers to himself, and the others who were with him might hear him fucking curse. And he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, why? There's always got to be fucking one, ain't there? Who always fucking gets caught. It's always the same fucking way. It's always one. And you just suddenly see him. I'm going to do a rouse check real quick.
Yeah.
And that's the one success I need.
There you go.
So don't get hungry. No test is required. So anyone viewing the vampire sees a forgettable face of the same gender and approximate height and build as the user. Clothes take on the same kind of blandness depending on the environment. So in this case, we're in a hostile military or invading environment.
Mm-hmm. So you got military fatigues.
Yeah, and I've got some kind of I've got the correct insignia to be at least to be a CO.
Yeah, and it's forgettable, but they would recognize it. It's almost like Doctor Who's psychic paper, but
Yes.
for like your whole body.
Yes,
Nice.
basically. So suddenly, this commanding officer walks up and says, "Oi, sit rep."
We've got this one we're going to take with us.
And Lecter's going to look at Temple and be like, identification papers.
At who?
Temple. Ayalos.
Oh, I think because you're acting before they were going to do what they were going to do, that it would just be Blake, who is currently still inside.
Oh, Blake's. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yep.
Getting confused. Would say to Blake, identification.
I left my wallet.
It's in your other pants.
At that point, you see this commanding officer raise an eyebrow and look to the other men. No, this one's coming with me. Enhanced interrogation. I have a suspicion about this one.
Give me a manipulation and maybe leadership or intimidation.
I'll go with intimidation.
Yeah.
That's one better than leadership. I'm at 2 hunger because.
And I'm going to give you a bonus die for your disguise.
Okay, so that's a total of 5. Okay. 2 successes.
Okay, yeah, that'll do. Just enough that you are able. They've already got Blake handcuffed, like as you're walking in, but you are able to lead them out with you.
Yeah, I'm going to take them to that side door, and I'm going to very subtly, sotto voce, say to Blake, "You fucking owe me."
Yeah, thanks.
And
it was either that or I start turning my body into a killing powerhouse.
I
I
don't
could have
think
talked my way out of it.
Totally. And as our coterie escapes by the skin of their very pointy teeth, the city of Manchester is absolute chaos as this cult has led its members out to attack and burn. Much of the city is on fire at this point. There are numerous helicopters, but you are able to get to your van. It is a little sus, so you probably should be careful. But you're able to get to your van and escape to maybe unlive another day. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Nice.
So,
Yay.
yeah, I was a little worried how that was going to end there.
Same. Same.
I thought we were dead.
Yeah. So while I'm looking for somebody to possibly raid, I think the Vector's live. Anybody want to talk about anything? Anybody got anything to plug? Looking at you, Alyssa.
Yeah, sure. We have a fun podcast about D&D. If you like D&D, if you like research, if you like me verbally spouting an essay at you about how the history of D&D is sexist and problematic, hit us up at Slovenly Trolls on found on podcast platforms near you. Yeah, that's all. I don't exist on the internet, not usually, so
Accurate.
that's just it.
All right, Alana, you want to talk about
You can find me. I make dice, and you can find me at spectralcraft.ca. You can find me on Instagram and other socials under Spectralcraft Dice. And yeah, that's about all I have to plug.
Fantastic. And right, did you want to plug anything?
Yeah, I mean, I occasionally stream stuff on Twitch under Rock and Rye when I feel like it, and usually on Thursday nights I run a Final Fantasy 14 5e campaign crossover over on the Vector starting at 8:30. But I've been really sick and stuff recently, so yeah.
Fair enough. Totally fair. I don't know what Twitch is doing right now. It's not letting me comment on my own stream. So I guess we're not going to raid anyone, but go check out our friends at the Vector. They're doing stuff right now. I don't really know what they're doing, but they're doing something. So go check them out.
Saturday, so they should be doing Backpacker's Guide to the TTRPGs.
That's right, because otherwise it would be me. And
yeah,
so I knew that. I know.
I say otherwise we'd be dealing with a fucking Sith Inquisitor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's something I can plug. Next Saturday, come watch the finale over on I think it's twitch.tv/thevactair. The finale of our Star Wars mini campaign. Yeah. Thank you, Lissa. Real MVP. Yeah, come see if this Sith Inquisitor murders our entire party, or if they maybe survive. Who knows? And then we're going to be back to werewolf after that. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see you all later. And thank you all for coming and watching. And thank you all for playing. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick.
You.